What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking all things Sheriff Rodeo. And we have Commander Chad Nicholson in with us. Chad, welcome.
Andy, thanks for having us.
And we have the new branch manager at the new bank here in town. We have Carrie Danielson.
Thank you.
Well.
Yes, thank you.
And you are one of the big sponsors for the Sheriff Rodeo.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I can't wait to hear about the story and about the new bank. But first, Chad, let's get into what is happening with the Sheriff Rodeo.
Well, we're excited. We're getting close, and we're only a few months away now. May 11th is our big rodeo. Like we've talked about on previous podcast episodes, this year we're trying to expand it a little bit more each year. This year our rodeo is going to start at 5 o'clock on May 11th, but we're going to open the gates early, 3 hours early actually, because we have a really fun fan zone that's planned for the rodeo, and the spectators to come in early and enjoy a lot of things that we're going to have to offer. So Rod and Hammer is going to have a Rod and Hammer zone. We're going to have mechanical bull. We're going to have whiskey tastings. We're going to have live music. We'll have contestant autograph sessions. We have a lot of our sponsors. It'll have vendor booths, and it's just going to be a really, really fun atmosphere. We have a significant increase in food and beverage vendors that are going to be on site during the rodeo this year, so people can come in early and eat their dinner and everything there, and then go into the main arena for the rodeo. The day prior to May 11th, on May 10th, will be all of our event qualifiers for all of us contestants to compete and see who is going to be the finalists to compete on Saturday night. And then the day before that is when we have like our sponsor gatherings and so on. So it's going to be a fun week. We're really excited.
So Chad, let's go back to the fan zone, because this is a new. Because I know we talked last year, and you have this big. I mean, because you've done this before. Like said, you and Nate have been dreaming and talking about this for years. Mm-hmm. And so last year you had mentioned, okay, we're going to do it this way, and then we're going to debrief afterwards, and then what we can do for the following year, and kind of build this versus like just trying to do too much too soon type deal. But so tell me a little bit more about the fan zone. What was the inspiration for that?
Mm-hmm. Well, like you say, I mean, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, especially your first year or your second year, and it's got to be a slow incremental process, especially as we build committee members and assistants and so on. But you go to a lot of these big events or big rodeos, and I've been fortunate to go to a lot, and attend a lot and all of that, and it's just a whole experience. And whether it's a rodeo or whether it's a professional sporting event like an NFL football game or a Major League Baseball game, there's always things to do outside of the stadium when you get there, and it's an experience for your spectators, and that's what we want. Is a big part of, from a logistical standpoint, it was, hey, can we get as many people in the gates early as possible to alleviate traffic congestion and 7,000 people standing in line right before the rodeo starts. And then the second part of it is get in early and enjoy what we have to offer, as far as enjoy live music, enjoy our food and beverage vendors. We have great sponsors like EECU, like Borhone GMC. They'll have a lot of vehicles there. Polaris will have side-by-sides there. Cactus Ropes and Cactus Saddlery will have, a cactus corner where kids can do dummy roping. Contestants will sign autographs. People can interact with all of us that put on the rodeo, all of us that compete in the rodeo. Some of our contestants, as we've talked about before, are some of the best cowboys and cowgirls in the world standing. So the fans can interact with some of them as well. So it's just kind of a full-on experience. Yeah.
And that's kind of a really cool, event part of it. And obviously that includes, that's your paid ticket, which is very little, mind you. That is your entry into the fan zone, right? So you can't come into the fan zone without coming to the rodeo.
Correct. So yeah, the tickets, going back to the ticket cost, we've kept it the same every year, and we won't increase it. It's $10 for adults, and kids 12 and under are free, and law enforcement employees are free. And so you pay for your ticket, come into the fairgrounds, and everything's included with that: the fan zone, the rodeo, and then the concert that's going to take place after the rodeo. And talking a little bit more about the rodeo and the fan zone and the purpose is, we got to look at the reason we really really created this too, and it was to give the community an opportunity to interact with law enforcement, obviously in a positive light, and where we can have not just members of the sheriff's office but other allied agencies around the county be able to be there, interact with our community, converse with members of our community, recruit if needed. And because unfortunately in the profession that we do, most of the times you have interaction with law enforcement, it's in a negative light. You're either a victim of a crime, a suspect of a crime, or a witness usually. So this gives people an opportunity to interact with us because we're all just regular people, and it's just it helps for the positive perception of law enforcement.
And for this year, you guys had you guys topped out last year for ticket sales.
We did. We were like 200 shy of selling it out at
Okay.
7,000 people. Yeah.
Wow! So this year, you guys are already anticipating like you're a sellout crowd. So get your tickets bought now.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say it's hands down going to sell out this year. I mean, to bring context to it, the very first year we had the rodeo, we sold right at 4,000 tickets, and then last year we were just under 7,000 tickets, so a jump of nearly 3,000 in between year one and year two. And this year, obviously, the capacity of the outdoor event center in a rodeo configuration is 7,000 spectators. So wow. People need to get their tickets early, because once they're sold out, and once we've admitted 7,000 people in the gates, then we have to close the gates. And there's obviously fire marshal codes and safety reasons that we can't have more people than that in there. So I encourage people to get their tickets early. Tickets are going to be going on sale here in the next couple weeks. We're once again going to use the Eventbrite platform for that, so they can go to eventbrite.com, search SLO Sheriffs Rodeo. You can go to the SLO Sheriffs Rodeo website of slosherifsrodeo.com. Any of our social media handles will have links to it as well. But get them early, because you've got to be checked in. And last thing on that is, even if you have a free ticket, if you're a child or a law enforcement employee, there's free ticket options on there, and you select that, and you still have to get one of those, because it gives you a QR code that we scan at the gate, and we can allocate and plan for that body that comes
and
through.
Those still count towards that 7,000
Yes,
max.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow. And so tell me about, you got some new events. You got a new event coming to the rodeo this year, which I'm excited about, because I think this is the coolest. You could have an event only with this, and I would dig it. So tell me about it.
Yeah, so we wanted to incorporate, the young children into it. So we're bringing mutton busting to the rodeo.
That's awesome.
Which is really, really cool. And we have some great volunteers on the committee that have offered to put the mutton busting qualifier on for us. And speaking of the fan zone, so the qualifier we're going to do for the mutton busting is actually going to take place the day of the rodeo during the fan zone hours of operation. So the gates will open at 2. The mutton busting qualifier starts at 2:30 over in the covered arena there at the fairgrounds. So if you come to the fan zone, you can also walk over, watch the mutton busting qualifier, and then we'll take the top finalists from that. We'll compete during the main rodeo that night, and we have great prize line for them, just like we've got for all of our other champions as well.
I think the mutton busting and bull riding, and of course you have bull riding this year, because you guys brought that last year. So actually, since we're on that, let's talk about your partnership with your shoots now. Yeah, and like we discussed last time on the episode, we have a great partnership with Prefert Rodeo and Ranch Equipment, and we were able to purchase 4 Prefert bucking chutes that came from Las Vegas. They were actually used at the PBR finals, and only used one time. And we negotiated a deal with them to where we purchased them and we own them now, and they're beautiful. They're brand new, and they're currently getting swagged out with Sheriff's Rodeo decals and all of that. So they'll be used during the bull riding. Premier Ag's been a huge sponsor for us the whole time and of the bull riding, so they're assisting us once again with the bulls, the contestants. As you guys remember last year, we discussed it. Alex McWilliams, who's their son, is a bullfighter that fought for us last year. Has plans to come back again this year, so it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really fun. Now, could you do like bullfighting as an event? Is that maybe a next step? And
You could, but that's kind of an event all on its own, as far as there's a lot more logistics that kind of go into that, as far as size of the arena. Obviously, the bulls that you use, they're not the same bulls that people ride. They're typically a little bit smaller, a little waspier, so to speak. And so that's kind of a whole different animal. We could do it as another event, but it just takes some logistical discussions, really.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Chad, let's step over to who you brought with you. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that and
Yeah.
the partnership with that.
So this is Carrie Danielson. Like I said at the beginning, she's the branch manager for EECU, which is a credit union here in town, and they have become a premier sponsor of the Sheriffs Rodeo, which is one of our top sponsorship levels of the rodeo. And I think we discussed a little bit last time on the podcast, but we are this is our first year we're doing a scholarship program, and our scholarship program is backed by EECU, and we're going to give away 4 $500 scholarships to high school seniors around the county, and all of that information is on our website at slosheriffsrodeo.com. They can go on there to download the application packet and see what the criteria is, but EECU is a phenomenal partner to come on board, and they've been very big supporters of the Sheriff's Office and the Sheriff's Rodeo, so we're excited.
Awesome. Well, Carrie, welcome.
Thank you.
So first tell me about the bank. Tell me, this is all brand new here.
Brand new.
Literally like within the last couple of months, right?
We opened our doors on June 5th of last year. The EEC was based out of the Central Valley, so they're Fresno based. Of course, we have 22 branches, with Paso Robles being the first branch on the Central Coast. So we're very excited to be on the Central Coast. I'm a native, of course, so I'm happy to bring that Paso Robles, all those interesting things about Paso Robles, of course.
Because you've been in banking for a long time here.
14 years, yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's been fun. It's been a nice adventure.
And it's a credit union.
Correct.
And so, and you guys are located on Theater Drive in the old
Applebee's buildings, yes.
Applebee's spot right there in
Restaurant.
the Idlers.
Yep.
In front of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So tell me about the partnership with the Sheriff Rodeo and where you guys are fit in with us.
Well, EECU is all about being in the community because we're educationally based, of course, and it was just a great partnership with EECU and the Sheriff's Office. So we really wanted to be a part.
Very cool.
Give back.
And so you guys are doing a sponsorship. So talk to me about the sponsorship for anybody, just the kids of the North County. How does that work?
The sponsorship in regards to the Sheriff's Office, or
I'm sorry, not sponsorship. Scholarship.
Scholarships. I'm
my bad.
sorry. The scholarship. Yeah. So this is the first time we've ever done it.
Oh, really?
We'll do the 4 scholarships, the $500 each, and we're hoping to do it, in the years to come. So we're looking forward to it.
And how does somebody reach out to be one of the nominees, or how does the scholarship work? You just give it to anybody, or?
Well, that's going to all be up to this guy right here. Unfortunately, that's all him. Yeah. So that'll be the Sheriff's Department.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so does the credit union direct, like some credit unions are like for, government employees and stuff like that, like a specific category. Mm-hmm. Does the credit union, EECU, does it direct towards, or is it anybody?
We're based off of educationally based, so there's ways to qualify to become a member. So you can be a school teacher, you can be a classified teacher, you can have your brother can be a member, and you can qualify off of him and a relative, or if you can't qualify that way, then you can do a one-time donation to a local PTA, and our local PTA is Daniel Lewis Middle School in Paso Robles.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it's $10 one time.
Very cool. Yeah. And so what does that mean when you come in as another bank competition? What does that mean in the banking world, really?
I think really when it comes to credit unions, it's about the relationship. A bank's a bank. I come from the banking world, the business banking, which I loved, and I have amazing experience from it. But when it comes to a credit union, it's about, I feel like it's more about the community. So I get to be out in the community again, which I love, and I get to be a part and get to be out there and bringing people in and showing them what the credit union life's all about. So.
And what kind of feedback have you gotten so far, for the short amount of time that you guys have been here and, going to mixers and whatnot? What kind of response have you gotten?
Everyone's very happy we're here. Definitely figuring out what EECU is and explaining what we are, which has been really fun. But we've been in the community for the last few years. We have our communications director, Joe Doylan, that comes over, and he's been over here for probably the last 4 or 5 years. But now that we have a branch, we're able to say, you know, Pastor Bill's branch is open. We're here. We're here to serve our community. But no, it's been great feedback so far. Yeah.
And obviously, you like being in the banking world.
I like being in the banking world.
You know, it could be weird at times, could be difficult at times, and could be rewarding as well, like the sponsorship with the Sheriff Rodeo.
Absolutely, it's definitely a ride.
Now, are you a participant in the rodeo? Do you do any events? Or?
I was going to sign up for the mutton busting myself, but no, not doing any events this year. No, just going to be there to support the sheriff's office. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, excited.
And so, Chad, what does that mean to have like such a great draw to your event that you and Nate kind of like, and Sheriff Parkinson, obviously he's part of the wheel, but what does that mean to have these community businesses like just gravitate to you?
Well, it means the world, not just for the Sheriff's Rodeo, but for law enforcement in general, and I think I talked on previous podcasts, our idea to start this kind of came on the heels of the George Floyd incident and the civil unrest around the country and so on. And we wanted to create a positive environment for law enforcement to interact with the community and give back to the community and so on. So, and it's hard because all you see a lot of times is some of the negativity in the media and so on towards law enforcement. So to be able to see the support that we get from our community, from businesses like EECU and all of our other countless sponsors has been unbelievable. And there's no way that this rodeo could take place if it wasn't for our sponsors and the support that we get around the community. And we've been fortunate to where a lot of our sponsorships are fairly unsolicited. They will reach out to us, and like we've talked about before, like we have a day job. I'm the commander of our detective division and SWAT team and all of that stuff, and so I have a day job to do, and then I plan the rodeo as well, but I don't have time to go knock on doors to solicit sponsorships. And I think because we are the sheriff's office and we try to do everything we can to give back to the community and obviously provide a top level of service to keep people safe, that people appreciate that and give back. And Sheriff Parkinson has been unbelievable and very supportive of this. And he, like we had talked about before, I think last year, he had been to other sheriff's rodeos around the state, and he came back, and knowing my background and stuff in it, he said, I want you to put together a sheriff's rodeo. Well, that combined with Nate and I had been car partners years ago and talked about doing something anyways. It's like, well, this is going to work out, and then I got to admit, I didn't think it would be as successful as it is so quick. For us to only be a couple years running now and be able to sell out an outdoor event center at 7,000 people and have very good artists come and play and people be excited about it, it's very, very good to see.
Nate, Chad, you hit on the George Floyd thing, and that kind of stuff. Do you feel like that has kind of rebounded from that time period? And the question I'm asking, I guess, is the support, the community support. Obviously, you get pulled over, you get arrested by a sheriff, you hate them, right? That's their fault for arresting you. It's really not, but. As far as the support from the community, the kind of the rebound from that, I feel like the sheriff department has a really huge support network from not only just your businesses, the community, and I think your image in the public is very, very high, and I think that has a lot to do with the support that that the sheriff department puts with the community, not just as we're the law and order, that's it. But you guys are always out there in events, Sheriff Parkinson, Special Olympics. I mean, he's involved with a lot of stuff. So how do you think that has made you guys where you at today?
Yeah. Well, I guess going back to the first part of your question, I feel the community is extremely supportive, and it has rebounded more and more. And we were very well supported even then. You look at that horrific incident and things that were taking place at that time. It's unfortunate because it doesn't matter what line of work you are in, what type of organization, what type of anything, you're always going to have bad eggs, and it's unfortunate that one or two law enforcement officers around the country can paint the whole profession with a negative light, and cause sweeping legislative changes and so on. But you think of the millions and millions and millions of calls for service that law enforcement nationwide goes on a yearly basis. And I mean, it is a finite amount of incidents that go south like that because of the level of training that we have and background process and so on. So it is hard to see that because you see like that incident and other ones happen, and you're like, this is not who we are as people, and this is not how we're trained. But we still have to deal with it. But I do feel that the community was very supportive at the time, and they've become even more supportive. And yeah, like you say, the sheriff he's phenomenal at what he does, and he's very supportive, and with the community and Special Olympics and everything that he's involved in and wants us to be involved in. And your leadership obviously starts at the top, and then it trickles down through an organization, and it's a lead by example type thing. And we see the way that he interacts with people, and we try to mimic his behavior, and I think it's been a good thing for the community, that's for sure.
For this year's rodeo, Chad, what is the one thing that you're most looking forward to?
That's a tough one.
There's so many different, there's so many different elements of the rodeo. And
so for me, as somebody that's always, and this is me personally, as somebody that's always played sports throughout my life, and college sports, and then competed in rodeo and all that stuff all the way through, it's the adrenaline of an athlete, of stuff. So like I hopefully, qualify. I've been fortunate enough to qualify for the finals the last couple years in various events. And, but for me, being down on the arena floor when that place is packed with 7,000 people, and the music and the lights are blaring like a professional event, it reminds me of an NFL football game when the speakers are going and you could feel the stands shake. And that's how it is at the rodeo too. It's the adrenaline that you get because it's that sense of competition. But then looking around the arena and seeing all these people that showed up to support a vision that you had, and that the sheriff had, and that Nate had, and everything, it just warms your heart, because it's like, this is exactly what we wanted. And it's so patriotic, as you know, from everything from our grand entry to everything throughout. And we recognize employees throughout the event and people that have been injured in the line of duty. Or last year we did a tribute to Kristen Smart and her family and all of that. And you see all the support around the event center, and that's what makes it worthwhile, and that's what I look forward to the most, because you can't get those feelings back,
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see, because you go to the event center now and it's completely empty, and they're broken down for other events and stuff. But to think, in a few months this place is going to be packed, and just the energy in here, it's totally different.
And you mentioned before where Sheriff Parkinson went around and went to some of these sheriff rodeos in other places. Have you got any feedback of these now people that put on these events came to yours? And what kind of feedback was that?
Absolutely. And it's been great. So we have a lot of sheriffs, elected sheriffs, from around the state that come to ours now. And I think the big misconception we need to get out there, like we've talked about over and over again, is a sheriff's rodeo is not sheriff's office employees competing. It is the sheriff's office or a sheriff's posse or a nonprofit organization putting on a rodeo where top contestants from the sport of rodeo come and compete. Like San Bernardino has one of the biggest sheriff's rodeos in the state, and it's one of the largest professional rodeo cowboys association rodeos that they have, and it qualifies a lot of guys towards the NFR in Vegas. So yeah, we've been to a lot of those rodeos, see how they do their things. It's just like anything. You go, you take little bits and pieces of things you like from this area or this area, and you're like, I want to incorporate this, I don't want to incorporate this, and so on. So but yeah, they've been attending ours, and we're very blessed here. As you guys know, it's a wonderful community. The weather's beautiful. The event center is beautiful. You're going to be hard pressed to go anywhere in the state where you can have weather like we have in May. You have 2 gorgeous skyboxes there. You have a permanent stage that we get some of the top artists, throughout the world to compete at the mid-state, or to play at the mid-state fair. So you're having this in the same venue. So it's hard to top that venue as well.
And you mentioned an NFR qualifier. At what point, I'm sure you're looking towards this as a idea for the Slo Sheriff Rodeo?
Potentially, we'll see. When you start putting on PRCA rodeos, there's sanctioned rodeos in the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, and there obviously has to be a benefit to everybody, and for us to do something like that, we'd have to sanction it. So there's sanctioning fees, and then you have to use their judges, you have to use their announcers, you have to use their stock contractors, everything. So you really kind of pigeonhole yourself. But the benefit is then you have top level professional, athletes that are coming because they're trying to qualify towards the NFR. So we'll see. We've kicked that around, but I don't think we have any plans to do that anytime in the immediate future because, quite frankly, we don't need to.
And it's growing. This is coming onto your 3rd year, right? Mm-hmm. And you've went from an idea to now having essentially a 2-day event because Friday is your qualifiers, right? And then incorporating the fan zone on Saturday before the event, which is 3 hours before the event starts,
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
And then bringing in the mutton busting. Last year you brought in the bulls, so I mean this is like I'd be curious to talk about what's next year. Yeah.
Well, we're not going to get too far down the road, but we've already kicked around a multi-day rodeo as far as like 2 performances. Wow. So we have a Friday night performance and a Saturday night performance. So I think eventually that's what's down the road, and just keep growing this. But we'll see. We'll take 1 year at a time, and like I say, it's a lot of work. It's a big undertaking. It's fun. I enjoy it. But we still have our day job to do as well.
And we talked a little bit before the show, which we can't talk about now, but there are some things that are kind of progressing in the behind the scenes that hopefully the next time that you're in, we can highlight those things.
Yeah, we should be able to announce our artist here in the next couple weeks, and obviously the tickets go on sale in the next couple weeks, so we'll be able to do that. I can tell you this: it's a great Nashville artist that I think everybody will be really, really thrilled to come and watch perform. We have little things to try and just boost the fan experience this year. We're going to get, like we discussed before we went on air, large LED boards, like big screens that are going to go at each end of the arena this year, 17 by 10 foot LED boards. So a lot like a professional sporting event, to where you can watch live feed. And you guys, What's Up North County, and our partnership with you guys will be broadcasting the rodeo live. And we'll have the live camera feeds on those LED boards. We'll be able to run commercials, give shout outs to our sponsors. And so we're just trying to, increase, the fan experience and the exposure every year.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we're excited to, enjoy this journey with you guys, because it's obviously for a good cause. We're all about, military law enforcement. So, we couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of it with you guys. We appreciate that as well.
Well, thank you.
So, Chad, let's talk about, before we close out, again, tickets. How do you get tickets? Cost of all that stuff one last time.
Yeah, really quick before we get to the tickets, I just want to reiterate, for any high school seniors that are in the county, for any high school in the county, you can apply for our scholarships. So we're giving away 4 $500 scholarships sponsored by EECU, and you can go to slosheriffsrodeo.com, download the scholarship application. It will show the criteria to apply for that, and then we will select. All those have to be submitted by March 31st of this year. We will select the winners by April 15th and notify them, and then they will be recognized this year at the rodeo. In the middle of the rodeo, we'll do special recognition with EECU. So yes, go to slosheriffsrodeo.com. As far as tickets, be looking on our social media handles and website here in the next couple weeks for announcements that they'll go on sale, but it'll be the same thing. They'll go to slosheriffsrodeo.com. You can click on the link link and it'll take you to Eventbrite and buy your tickets there. Even if it's a free ticket, get it. And that way you'll be guaranteed to get in the gates.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, Chad, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you letting us get that voice out for you guys as far as the Sheriff Rodeo, and I look forward to all your guests.
Yeah.
We got Carrie this month, and who knows who we're going to get next month. So,
Yep.
Carrie, I appreciate you coming on and telling us about EECU, our new bank here in the North County, located on Theater Drive.
Correct.
Right? You guys are open. Tell us your hours.
We're Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5, and then on Fridays we're open from our walk-ups from 9 to 10, and then we're open till 6 at night on Friday night.
And your banking is more geared towards the education sector.
So
right?
yeah, educationally based, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody can become a member, but just ways to qualify for your membership. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on
Thank you
and
for
telling us
having
about
me.
your story.
Yeah.
And appreciate you being a sponsor of the Sheriff
Absolutely.
Rodeo.
We're happy to do it.
Chad, again, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your service as well. And really, really looking forward to this year's Sheriff Rodeo.
Well, thanks for having us, Randy. We appreciate you guys. I mean, the platform that you've been able to provide us for not just the rodeo, but for the sheriff's office. I mean, you and Eric and the whole crew here has just been amazing. So thank you.
Awesome. We appreciate that. All right. Can't wait till the next one. See what we're going to release
Right.
the artist. Hopefully.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome, Chad. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure you guys get your tickets early as soon as they go on sale, because no doubt they were 200 from selling out last year. It will sell out this year. So as soon as they become available, make sure you get your tickets to this year's 2024 Slo Sheriffs Rodeo, going to be at the Paso Robles Event Center. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wines, Visit Atascadero, Wine Travelers Hideaway, 805 Customs, Santo Brother Plumbing, Pacific 805 Spas, Hansen Enterprises, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, and Airflow Filter Services, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
What's up, North County? Nate Santos here, owner of Santos Bros Plumbing. You might recognize me with my dancing horses at local events such as the Atascadero Tamale Festival, Templeton 4th of July, and Paso Pioneer Day. I am now available for all your home plumbing service and repair needs. From minor drips and drops to emergency leaks and clogs. For the best plumbing service, call Santos Bros Plumbing, pipe wranglers to the rescue.